Hey there, this is LaQuita with QuitabugHandmaids.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am so excited to announce the second feature of November Club Quitabug. I will be spotlighting the Healing Hugs stamp set. I love this set. It's actually a distinctive stamp set. You've got this beautiful, realistic rose image that stamps gorgeously. You've got a lot of really great sentiments, perfect for wishing someone well. So I think you're gonna really enjoy this free project kit. So let's go ahead and jump right into the video. I'll give you a close-up and walk you through each of the projects, and I'll give you all the details about Club Quitabug as we go. Again, here's that Healing Hugs stamp set and what it looks like up close. Such a beautiful, beautiful set. So all you have to do to receive this free project kit in the mail from me is simply place a minimum $40 order in my online Stampin' Up! Store. That's $40 before tax and shipping. Make sure your order is placed between November the 16th through November the 30th. This free project kit does end on November the 30th, 2018. You can purchase whatever you would like when you place your order. There's no set product that you have to purchase in order to qualify to receive this free project kit from me. Just make sure that when you place your order, you do use the host code, and I've got it somewhere here on the screen. Make sure you use that code when you're placing your order, and that just lets me know you're wanting to receive this kit in the mail from me. Just don't use that code if your order is $150 or greater. When your order is $150 or greater, you will qualify for Stampin' Rewards, and you will still receive this free project kit as a gift in the mail from me. So let me share the projects with you. I think you're gonna love this kit, you guys. It is so pretty. I'm in love with it. I think this is maybe my favorite kit that I've ever shared with you guys. So here is card number 1. Has a really nice vintage feel to it. I love it, and I love the colors. So it says, if hugs and kisses could cure, you'd be immune to everything, feel better soon. Isn't that nice? I just really love that. And then here is card number 2, get well soon. So pretty, so clean. I just love this card. Love it. And then here is card number 3, wishing you a quick and complete recovery. Again, nice, clean, beautiful colors. And then here is a 3D project that I've thrown in here for you guys. So this says, sending you healing vibes. So you open this up, and then inside you can slip a little package of tissues. Isn't that so cool? So it's a cute little tissue box. So you could give someone this little tissue box along with whichever card you'd like to give to them. Just a sweet little get well soon gift. I love this, love, love, love this. So if you guys would like to see a full video tutorial on how to make this tissue box, leave that in the comments for me, because in the video, since we do have 4 projects to make, I'm just going to show you how the supplies come for the box, and I'm gonna put it together. I'm not really gonna walk you through the measurements. So if y'all would like to see a full video tutorial on how to create this, just leave me a message in the comments, and I will do that for you guys if you're interested. So here are the 4 projects included in the kit. So all of the consumable supplies will come in the kit to make one of each of these projects. So I'll be using the Healing Hugs stamp set to complete these projects. Then I've got Petal Pink, Grapefruit Grove, Blackberry Bliss, Tranquil Tide, and Mint Macaron ink. And then I've got my snips, some adhesive, dimensionals, and then also some fine tip glue. And I do have all of these products listed just below the video in the description notes with clickable links if you'd like to add them to your order. You can also find all of those supplies listed out over on the coordinating blog post for this video, which is also linked just below. So everything does come neatly packaged for you, along with envelopes, as well as a full color PDF that has photograph, measurements, and a full supply list. And then you've also got this video tutorial that you can come back to as well when you get ready to create each of your projects. So let's go ahead and get started on project number 1. So you do have a little bag of iridescent sequins. We're gonna put those on each of the projects except for the tissue box. Just gonna bring in a little bit of scratch paper, and we're gonna stamp that beautiful rose image and create a background in Blackberry Bliss. So I'm just going to ink this image up, and I'm just gonna stamp. I want my first one to be right about here because I want a nice big one sitting behind the sentiment, or right near where that sentiment's gonna go. So I'll just stamp that there. Oh, isn't this image gorgeous? I love it. And it has like a nice crackly vintagey look here on this card, or stamping on this crumb cake. I just love it. Okay, and then I'll stamp another one here, and you can stamp it however you want. We're just creating a nice little background. And a lot of these are going to be covered once we put the card together. All right, so I've got 7 there. So I'm going to stick with that, nice odd number. Then for the sentiment, we're going to stamp on this piece of Whisper White. And I'm going to go ahead and actually bring my Blackberry Bliss back in. So I've got the if hugs and kisses could cure, you'd be immune to everything. And I have it upside down. Okay. Just making sure I've got that inked up well. Okay, and I'm just going to stamp that right in the center, right about there. Looks good to me. Then I'm going to take this little piece of Grapefruit Grove and I'm going to center my sentiment right above, or right on top of this little strip. So right about there, that should be good. Press that down. Just gonna give my crumb cake card base a nice crease, and we're gonna start layering everything onto the front of our card. All right, so I'm gonna take this piece of designer series paper. This is from the Rooted in Nature, or Nature's Poem, I think it's called, designer series paper. I thought this paper was perfect for this kit because it's really calm colors, really calm patterns. So I thought that was perfect for this. And then I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals, and I want it to sit, I want the Grapefruit Grove to line up with the edge of the card layer. So I'm just gonna put this, center it up and line it up with this edge. Then you've got some of the Grapefruit Grove twine. This is the thick twine from the Nature's Poem twine combo pack. So I'm just going to wrap this around, let's see, 2 times, right about here. Keep it nice and tight. Once you've wrapped that around 2 times, we're just going to tie that in a bow off to the left. So I think right about there looks good. Bring in my snips here and give that a little trim. Shorten those just a little bit. And you could put a glue dot behind this if you wanted to, just to help it kind of sit still if it bothers you that it moves around a little bit. Okay, I think that looks really good. So now dimensionals on the back of this. Okay, got the backings off of those dimensionals. And now we can just center this onto the front of our card base. Isn't this such a pretty card? Oh, I love it, I love it. So I have chosen 2 sequins here, and I've got my take your pick tool as well. I'm gonna put a little bit of this fine tip glue, just a little bit there, and a little bit there. And I am just going to pick up these sequins and add them right in my adhesive. There we go. There it is. That finishes up card number 1. I love it. So here is everything for our second card. So I'm just going to get out my 3 pieces of Whisper White here. On this die cut circle, I'm going to go ahead and stamp in Blackberry Bliss the Get Well Soon sentiment. So I'll just go ahead and pop that in the center. Okay. And then in Petal Pink, I'm going to stamp my rose image. So make sure you've cleaned this off. You don't have your Blackberry Bliss still on there. So I'm going to ink that up. And I am going to stamp my rose. I think I'll turn it this way. I'm going to stamp my rose right, I guess right about here. Give that a good press. Oh, it's gorgeous. Look at that. It is so pretty. I love this image. So you're going to stamp it there, and then you've also got another piece of Whisper White. You want to also stamp it on this piece as well. Okay. Then we're going to stamp the leaves in Tranquil Tide. So I'm just going to ink that up. Okay. And I want these leaves to be right here. Now I am stamping onto the flower, but that's going to get covered up. So I'm going to put that right there. Then I'm going to bring in my paper snips. And you just want to hand cut out this rose, and I am going to leave a very small white border around it, and I'm rotating my paper around versus my scissors. So I'm just going to get this all cut out. So I've got my rose all nice and cut out, so I'm going to set that to the side, and now we can start building up our card. So this is a Grapefruit Grove card base. I'm going to go ahead and layer on this other piece of designer paper from that Nature's Poem designer series paper stack. Just add this onto the front of my card. Then you've got a piece of Blackberry Bliss cardstock, and we're going to add our stamped layer right on top of that. So right about there in the center. Dimensionals onto the back of my rose that I cut out. And we're just going to line this up and put it right on top of the one we stamped first. So let's see. Oops, that is not lined up. Okay, right there. Okay, I had to go wash my hands. I'm getting Blackberry Bliss everywhere. I don't know, I guess I have it on my hands and I didn't realize it. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and add my Get Well Soon on top of this gorgeous glimmer paper. Isn't this so pretty? Now this used to be called Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper. I don't know if it still has the same name. If it's different, I'll write it on the screen, but isn't that so pretty? I love it. It is gorgeous, has a nice iridescent look. So beautiful. It is my favorite of all the glimmer papers. And then on here, dimensionals as well. And actually, what I'm gonna do is just put a little bit like that, left a little gap between them, because we're gonna have some twine running around here and we don't want the dimensionals on top of the twine. So I'm gonna take this mint macaron twine. Again, this is from that Nature's Poem combo pack. So I'm gonna take this and we're gonna wrap it just like we did on the first card. So I'm just gonna leave a little bit hanging off. And then once you've got it wrapped around twice, just make sure you've got it pulled tight and we're going to tie it in a bow. And again, just like on the first card, if you want to have those have this twine sit still, you could put a little glue dot right behind there to keep that still. And then let me just snip off some length there on my tails. Let me snip this one down a little bit lower. Okay, I think that looks good. And then dimensionals on the back of this layer. Alrighty. Add this to the center of my card. So right about there, that looks good. And then let's see if I got my dimensionals in the right spot. I did. That's actually perfect, I think. Let's see, I might have to there we go. Just had to scoop my twine up just a little bit, but that is perfect. It fits right between there, and then this hangs off the card, just off the Blackberry Bliss, and it is perfect. Just right there. Got some more sequins out, and I'll go ahead and get my glue put down, my fine tip glue here. It is. That finishes up the second card in the kit. So pretty. So for card number 3, I've got my pieces. I'm going to go ahead and start by stamping my sentiment onto this piece of mint macaron. So I'm going to stamp in Blackberry Bliss, the wishing you a quick and complete recovery. And when you're stamping on colored cardstock, you just want to press and hold for a minute just to give the ink a chance to absorb. It takes a little bit longer to absorb into colored cardstock than if it were Whisper White. And I'm going to stamp this off to the left. Okay, that looks great. Being really careful with this Blackberry Bliss so I don't get ink everywhere again. Then I'm going to bring in this piece of Whisper White scrap paper here. And I've got my Grapefruit Grove, and I'm going to stamp my rose image in Grapefruit Grove. Make sure you've cleaned it off from the petal pink. Ooh, that is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. It is so pretty in this color. I love this image. Love it. Now I'm going to bring back my scratch paper, and we're going to do a little bit of layered stamping here. So I'm just going to lay this down, and you know what? I'm going to get a new scratch paper because this has Blackberry Bliss on it. And I'm getting Blackberry Bliss everywhere, so let me get a new sheet. Okay, there we go. I'm going to start with mint macaron. And I've got this little, I don't even know what this is, almost like a plus sign background stamp. I'm going to ink this up, and I'm just going to create a little just cluster of this image right here in the center but off to the right. So I'm going to ink it up, stamp it off, and stamp it on. And I'm just going to stamp this over and over, just kind of stacking it up randomly. Want to create a nice little do one more. Okay, I think that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and quickly hand cut out this rose image as well, leaving a tiny white border just like we did on the first one. So I've got that rose all cut out, and what I'm going to do is going to lay everything out how I'm going to eventually want it. So it's going to eventually go like that. I'm going to bring in my Tranquil Tide ink pad. And then I've got this leaf image, and I want to stamp 3 of this image behind the flower. So I'm going to do one, let's see, right down here. Okay. And then I want one right there. And then from here, I want one, right there. That should be good. So now we can go ahead and start putting these elements on. So I'll just add a little bit of adhesive on here. I'm not putting this all the way to the left-hand edge. I'm just centering it right about here. I'll just stick that down. And then dimensionals on our rose. 3 should do. And let's just put that right about there. Oh, that looks so pretty. I love it. And then we'll flip this layer over and dimensionals on the back of this layer. Then we've got a Whisper White thick card base, which will come pre-scored for you since it's the thick Whisper White. And then we can go ahead and layer this right onto the front of our card base. So right about here looks good. Give it a press. And there we go, that finishes up card number 3. And lastly, we have our tissue box. We're gonna put this together, so let's go ahead and do our stamping first. And in Tranquil Tide, I'm gonna stamp this little image. We're actually using every image from the stamp set on these projects. So we're gonna stamp this little, like little wildflower image, stamp it off, and just stamp it in the center of this oval. Then I've got Blackberry Bliss for the sentiment, and we're going to stamp the sending you healing vibes, and we'll just put that right in the middle. Perfect. Let's go ahead and work on our box. So in your kit, the box will come pre-scored for you. So I don't know if you can see on this Blackberry Bliss, but everything is already scored. So what you want to do is take your bone folder and just go ahead and start giving a nice crease on all of those score lines. And don't forget, if you guys are interested in a full tutorial on how to create this tissue box holder, leave that in the comments for me. Let me know, and I will do that for you guys if you're interested. So for the sake of time, we're doing it this way for this video. Okay, so I've got that all folded up. Now, you've got 2 large panels on each end. One is larger than the other. So, all right, so you've got a 1.5 inch side and then an 1 3/4 inch side. So you want the 1.5 inch side facing you. Okay, so I'm gonna flip it over so I can see these score lines better. What we're gonna do is bring in our paper snips, and we're gonna cut all the way up to this second score line. Okay, so I'm gonna cut along this 1 inch score line. I'm gonna cut along this line, and I'm going to go all the way up to this second score line. So I passed this score line and I went all the way up to this second one, and I'm going to cut off this rectangle, and then I'm going to notch in on this square and basically just cut off the score bump. Okay, so those are the 2 pieces we just took off there. Then we're going to do the same thing over here on the left. So I'm actually cutting off the score bump. You see that little raised bump there? I'm actually cutting that off. Then again, I'm going to cut off my rectangle, fold this in and cut a little notch. And this is what we have right now, okay? Now I'm going to come over here and where this little square is, so you've got square, rectangle. Where the square is, you want to cut in on both sides up to the score line. And then you're basically going to notch in and snip off that score line, okay? Just like that. There we go. And then we'll rotate around and do the same thing on this side. Just notch in. Okay, there we go. So now this is what you have if you lay it out, okay? This is what it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my designer paper strips on here. So you've got a smaller strip for this 1.5 inch panel. So I'll go ahead and add that on. This is for the 1.5 inch panel, which is facing you. Then this panel right behind that 1.5 inch flap, you've got a little thin strip to go right on there. So just center that up, put that right there. And then the last strip is for the 1 3/4 inch panel. So right here. Okay, just like that. All right, so now where those little side squares are that we notched in, I've just added a little bit of adhesive on those little side squares, and we're just going to fold those in and adhere those right inside. Okay, just like that. Then these little flaps right here, we're gonna add some adhesive to the inside of these two little flaps. Okay, and we are simply going to wrap those right around the box. And you can see this flap doesn't go all the way up. That's so that we can easily access our tissue box or a pack of tissues, our tissue pack. Okay, so just put that right there. All right, so there we go. So now you can get your tissues. So I've just got a Kleenex 3-pack here, and let's see, they each have a saying on them. I think I want the one that says, summon your strength. That seems perfect for if you're trying to get well. So I'm gonna put that one, you just slip it right inside. That's so cute. And then these flaps, you could cut these off if you want to. I like these little flaps here because I feel like it just helps give the lid a little bit of support so that it doesn't smush all the way in from the soft tissue pack. So it just adds a little stability to the lid. So that's why I have those little flaps staying right there. So what we're going to do now is you will have a little bit of Velcro in your kit. So I am just going to take the backing off of one of these Velcro pieces, and I'm just going to center this up with the sticky side up here. Center that up. And I'll just put that right there and then peel off the other backing, and then you just fold this over. Give it a press, and then when you peel it back, you've got a nice Velcro closure. Just like that. Isn't that easy? Okay, so we've got that. Now we can go ahead and add our sentiment onto our mint macaron scallop. Okay. And then I'm just going to add adhesive at the top of this sentiment because I don't want this to adhere the box closed. Just putting it at the top, and then I'll just put this right in the center, right about here. And there we go. Now you've got your sweet little tissue box. I love that. I love it, I love it, I love it. What a cute little box. That finishes up your fourth and final project. Super cute. All right, so there are the 4 projects included in my Healing Hugs project kit. I hope that you all have enjoyed these projects. I really love this kit, and I think you will too. So remember, all you have to do to receive this free project kit in the mail from me is simply place a minimum $40 order in my online Stampin' Up! Store. Make sure that's $40 before tax and shipping, and be sure to use the host code that I've got somewhere here on the screen. And just don't use that code if your order is $150 or more, because you will still qualify to receive the kit, and you will earn Stampin' rewards. And just remember, this kit is only available for orders placed November the 16th through November the 30th, 2018. So thank you guys so much for joining me again today. You can find more information about this free project kit over on today's coordinating blog post. I have linked to that post just below the video in the description notes. I've also got a link to my online store right below the video in the description notes as well. So thanks so much, and I'll be back soon with another tutorial. Bye now.